Hello, today I am doing the cheese book tag created by Josh over at Literary Gladiators. So, let's get started. The first cheese, I guess I should explain this. So I'll put a link to the original video down below because he'll do a better job of explaining it. So essentially there are 12 cheeses that are all kind of themed and then books to fit those cheeses. The first cheese is processed cheese, which is either a book that's a guilty pleasure or a book that's essentially renowned but overrated. I don't really like processed cheese, so I'm going to go for the overrated, and this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, especially the people who hear me talk about it all the time. That would be J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye, which is a classic and hugely popular. I don't get it. I don't really enjoy this novel. I've had to read it multiple times. I've heard every explanation in the book as to why it's good. You'll never convince me I don't like it. The second, Emmentaler, or like a Swiss, is a book with too many plot holes. Where am I? Where are we? Where'd it go? Here we go. Okay, and that would be The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. Anyway, there's just so many weird things that happen, and the whole time travel thing gets wonky, and they never really explain it, but they try. And there's a lot of stuff in there that just doesn't make a lot of sense. So it got plot. It has too many plot holes for me. For me to really enjoy it. Mozzarella, a book that is rightfully renowned. This should be a pretty easy choice for me as well, for anyone who knows me. At least this author's showing up at least once in this. And I want to say, I was gonna copy a couple of Josh's picks. He picked two books that are really, really wonderful that I enjoy a lot and that I think fit perfectly. East of Eden, I forget what category, if it was this one or if it was for another one later on, but I love that book. I didn't want to pick it in any of mine because it was picked already. And then Flowers for Algernon. But anyway, to answer the question, my Mozzarella would be Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises, which I think is totally worth the renown it has. It changed the way writers wrote. It perfectly encapsulates the thinking and feelings of a time period for a certain group of people. It's concise, it's beautiful, it's poignant. I love this book quite a bit. Alright, the next one is Sharp Cheddar, a book that is great despite sparking a sudden, intense reaction. It could be sadness, anger, happiness. And this one here is it's a gut punch. It's a big gut punch at the end, and that is A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. I believe this was the first Hemingway book I read, and man, did the ending just kill me. I vividly remember finishing at like 3 in the morning and walking out of my room in a complete daze because I was so sucker punched by the ending, and wanting to immediately want to talk about it with my mom and my dad, and then realizing it was 3 in the morning, which is funny because if you have ever seen the movie Silver Linings Playbook, there is a scene where that exact thing happens. He reads the end of this book, throws the book out a window, and then goes and wakes his mom and dad up in the middle of the night to talk to him about it. And that's the kind of ending that this has. Whether you can still appreciate it after that, like I did, or you hate the book, like the character in Silver Linings Playbook, it is a gut punch of an ending. Alright, number 5 is Muenster, a book that should not be judged by its cover. And for that, I'm going to go with The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. which is a fantasy novel. And the reason I say it shouldn't be judged by the cover is because that's a pretty generic cover, just a tree and a dude in a robe, and it doesn't have a name of an author that's famous or well known. It's a fantasy book. It looks generic. It looks stupid. It's not. It's wonderful. It's like the best parts of Harry Potter, Artemis Fowl, and The Lord of the Rings got wrapped up. You're dealing with a kid, essentially, who's growing up in the novels, his life story being told as an adult to another person over the course of 3 days, and each day of the story is one of the books in the trilogy. 2 of them are out. The third one is still being worked on. But the character is hysterical. He's smart and he's clever, but he's not overly powered. Bad things happen to him, but he works through it, and it's seriously like the best parts of Harry Potter, Artemis Fowl, The Lord of the Rings, but for adults. I love this book, and I think if you like fantasy at all, give these a try, because they're really, really good. This, and then The Wise Man's Fear is the second. The Kingkiller Chronicles is the name of the trilogy. Very good. Okay, so number 6, Parmigiano Reggiano, a book that is the total package. Yeah, okay. I just had to remember, it is, I've got like a ton of books here, so I gotta remember which one is which. I had to sit down and make this list the other day. That would be James Baldwin's Another Country. I thought his first novel, Go Tell It on the Mountain, would remain my favorite Baldwin novel. I didn't see how any book could be better than Go Tell It on the Mountain. I was wrong. This book is. And it not only is a better Baldwin, it's a better book. This is a perfect novel. It's amazing. Passion, heart. It discussions on art, on race, on sexuality, on patriotism, on being a man, on being a woman. Some of the best, most well-written sex scenes that move plot and are metaphorical as well as physical acts. And so there's some of the most brilliant elevated writing I've ever read. My favorite Baldwin so far. Just an amazing novel. It just blew me away. Can't recommend this book more highly. It's amazing. It's definitely worth checking out if you even like Baldwin a little bit. Read this. This is an amazing book. If you don't like Baldwin or haven't read any Baldwin, read this. It's an amazing book. Number 7 is Feta Cheese, a book that leaves its mark or has a strong message, and that would be right over here. All Over Creation by Ruth Ozeki, or Ozeki. This book is essentially about like GMOs and plants. It's a novel. It's fiction. It's over multiple people. It's like coming home, dealing with nature, about being a farmer,